Takeshita hits the forearm strike of the century. My God. You gotta go back to that match and look at that forearm strike. My God, he nailed his ass. The card, really. That's a
D-level Kip Sabian.
Still employed.
Taylor.
Still employed.
The Blade.
Still employed.
The Butcher.
Still employed.
Bandito.
Still employed.
Lee Moriarty.
Still employed.
Trevor Beretta.
Still employed.
Keith Lee.
Still employed.
Ray Finn.
El Phantasma, Ren Narita. Narita!
If I see this man on NXT or on Raw one more motherfucking time, somebody get their ass whooped. That is enough!
Let's open radio break.
Hello, everyone, and a very pleasant good afternoon or evening to you, wherever you may be. I'm Ben Charles, and welcome to Live Omni Radio Rope Break. Ladies and gentlemen, making his return to Live Omni Radio Rope Break after a short hiatus, I suppose, maybe a short retirement in some way. Josh is back on the show. Josh, welcome back to the show. What the heck's been going on?
Mostly nothing. I've just entered the void of life, and I'm now. I have now reappeared at this point in time to record this review. I was here. I was gone, and now I'm here again. That's just how it goes. But yeah, a quick point about retirements. When it comes to the world of professional wrestling, there is no such thing as a retirement. You wrestle, you are in the business, and then you die. That's just how it goes. There is no such thing as a retirement. Shawn Michaels, Crown Jewel 2018.
Oh, Josh, we missed you on the show.
Flair, last year. Me, I was at WrestleMania. I said I was done forever for like the 100th time that I've said that. And I'm now back about 4 months later doing this SummerSlam review. It is what it is. I will probably end this saying I'm done forever again, and I'll be back tomorrow reviewing
something.
Yeah, whatever. Because at the end of the day, I am a hypocrite. So yeah.
Well, at least you're not a bad hypocrite.
Depending on how you see it, I suppose. Because just like wrestling, life is subjective, so it depends on how you see it. And speaking of wrestling, I don't know why I just did that. We are here for a very specific reason, which Ben will now get started on. So, over to you, Ben.
Okay. Well, Josh is being very, very jovial today. Listen, I literally had to rewatch this show, make sure to understand what the heck was going on this show, because SummerSlam 2023 was a very conflicting kind of show. Now, I'm not saying the show sucked. The show did not suck at all. It was actually a pretty decent SummerSlam, as a matter of fact, but just a lot of BS that involved SummerSlam, to be honest with you. And then, yeah. All right, SummerSlam 2023 from Detroit, Michigan at Ford Field, the home of WrestleMania 23, and also of many other places involving WWE as well. Anyway, we're in Detroit, Michigan. This happened on, let me make sure I had this right, Saturday, August 5th, 2023. So here we go with the review of SummerSlam 2023. First match on the show, Logan Paul versus Ricochet. Logan Paul, get off my fucking television. I'm saying this one time and one time only in front of Josh. Get off TV, Logan Paul, please. you looked very sloppy in this match against Ricochet. You looked like you was out of place. You looked like you was literally going everywhere. And like, dude, you looked just as bad as half of the roster on WWE anyway. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, dude, if you're going to do a match with Ricochet, at least make some of the wrestling look believable instead of like, just flying all over the place. I mean, I understand they were both athletic. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting nobody, but again, y'all could have made this match a little bit less sloppier. I feel like there were some spots that did not need to happen and it did not look good. For instance, that buckshot lariat to the outside on Ricochet, thumbs down. That did not look good. Ricochet almost went into the first row. So, there you go. Okay, Ricochet, Logan Paul. Logan Paul comes out swinging with right hands, but Ricochet is very athletic. He's very quick. And then Ricochet does a drop kick. And then I believe Ricochet also he tried for a shooting star press early, but Logan Paul got his knees up, and then he tried to roll up Ricochet for a 2 count. And then, after a couple minutes goes by, Logan Paul's hitting moves. They're just hitting moves at this point. I really don't. I mean, this is just all moves, really. So anyway, Ricochet goes for the 630. Logan Paul moves out of the way. And then some random-ass guy apparently snuck through security, snuck through all the fans. Apparently, he must have been underneath the ring because he gave Logan Paul a pair of brass knuckles. He had Logan Paul hit Ricochet with the brass knuckles, and Logan Paul had to hide the brass knuckles. So already the referees on this fucking show was fucking terrible. I would have cussed every last one of these fucking referees out, but we'll get to that later. All right. You guys know the deal. Logan Paul won with the brass knuckles. 1, 2, 3. He beats Ricochet, and Samantha Irvin is pissed off because Ricochet lost. So we'll see where this goes, but I'm going to have to give this match a 6, and Logic probably a 1. Logan Paul was supposed to win this match, but I'll give Logic a 1 for this. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah. The selling point of this match goes all the way back to this past year's Royal Rumble match in January when they did the double crossbody when Ricochet and Logan Paul from both sides of the ring, they leaped off the top rope and they connected with each other with a move called the double crossbody. And that was deemed to be a viral moment. Then we fast forward all the way to this past Money in the Bank pay-per-view, I believe, where they did the Spanish fly off the middle rope to the outside of the ring through a table to cause another viral moment. So this match, Ben, I can't hear you. I know you're trying to say something, but I can't hear you, mate. So yeah, this match was built as a viral moment match at SummerSlam between Ricochet and Logan Paul. So everything they oh, my voice, it was going out just like this match was. So everything about this match, every move they did, the way they overly choreographed this was to produce a viral moment match, because that is what they wanted to get out of this. They wanted to have this be a viral moment, not only just for the match, but also for them and the pay-per-view, and also for the company going forward. They would want to go back in their history and have this be shown in video packages in the future of SummerSlam as a must-see match in the history of the pay-per-view and also the history of the company, because they wanted it to be a viral match. right, to match the theme of the build-up since the Royal Rumble this past January. I will not give a rating about this match because I am done giving ratings. I will never give a rating for a match ever again. I just don't support doing that. Every rating I've ever given in the past is now redundant. You can forget every rating I've ever said on all of the previous episodes of Rope Break. This was actually used to be called Wrestling and Logic when it was just me and Kgabo all those years ago. Jesus, time flies. And so I did not like this match. It was overly choreographed to the point I thought I was watching AEW for a moment. Ricochet lost. He's the one who should have won. He's the one who would have benefited more for the future of his career by beating Logan Paul. Logan gets nothing out of this win. We probably won't even see Logan Paul until maybe next year at the Royal Rumble, if we're lucky, right? Actually, no, there might be a Saudi show in October or November, so we might see him there, maybe. Logan Paul is probably one of the best celebrity wrestlers the company has ever had. However, I do not like him as an individual. I do not I do not have any interest in him being in the WWE as a wrestler.
I think anyone does.
Any match he's in, I just want to switch it off immediately. I'm going to stop rambling. But my main point about this match is that even though it was supposed to be a viral match, it was nothing like that to me at all. It didn't come across as that at all. A bad match, the wrong winner, and I don't know where this is leading to, but this to me was a waste of time and a waste of a match that could have gone to Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, for example, which actually had a much better and more meaningful build-up to be on this pay-per-view. That was not on this pay-per-view because Triple H didn't want to have any more matches added on because of time constraints, even though most of the matches that were on this damn pay-per-view went on for way too long anyway. But we'll get into that later on, shall we? Yes, we shall. So I'm going to stop rambling now. For someone who said he wasn't interested to be on this review just yesterday and he wanted Ben to do this solo, I should have talked way too much already. And we've just started.
Josh.
And we've only just started, so.
No, Josh, listen, it's okay, dude. At least you're making good points while you're doing that. At least, it's not like you're talking for 25 minutes straight and then no one knows what the hell you're talking about. At least that would have been a lot more better. But I do agree with you, however, that this was overly choreographed. This was sloppy. And most importantly, this was unimportant in the grand scheme of things. Because if these two men are going to be fighting at the next pay-per-view, which is Payback, which I will not review under any shape or form unless the Payback card is actually a decent card. I'm not reviewing Payback. I refuse to do Payback. You're going to have to pay me millions upon hundreds upon millions of dollars to have me review Payback. I'm not reviewing Payback.
So what you're saying is, if you were to review it, you would need to be paid back for the review.
Oh, Josh, you and your fucking puns. Oh my god.
Hey guys, Kgabinator here, and I'm here giving my thoughts on SummerSlam. This is another episode of Life's Opening Radio Rope Break. And sorry that I couldn't be there. My computer, when I tried to record last week for Money in the Bank, the audio was very bad. It was chopping like it was not good, not fit to upload. But yeah, I've decided to do this. My thoughts on this first match, it was Logan Paul versus Ricochet. I gave it a 0 rating. I don't care about Logan Paul. And he won the match. I don't know why. But yeah. 0 rating.
Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. Oh my god. Oh my god. Should I talk about this match or what? Cody Rhodes got his ass whooped for 14 minutes straight. And you guys know how I feel about the Cody Rhodes and Brock feud. One of the worst feuds all year. Get off TV material. It's fucking terrible. I will say that with a straight face. The fact that Cody Rhodes got his ass whooped for 4 straight months. Then at the end, Cody and Brock shake hands, which was apparently unscripted. It was an unplanned moment. And then all of a sudden, we're led to believe that Brock Lesnar beat the hell out of Cody Rhodes just because Brock wanted Cody's respect, right? Apparently Brock wanted Cody to respect him. Apparently, like was that the whole point of this entire feud? If that was the whole point of this entire feud, fuck off. That's all I gotta say. Fuck all the way off. All right, Cody versus Brock. Oh, Josh, you want to say something? Go ahead. If he can talk.
As my mic just decides to turn itself off. Do you like the colours, by the way? It changes from purple to blue to green to yellow to red, I think.
A lot of people like it.
Green. Oh,
a lot of people like it.
Oh, pink, I think, as well.
Yeah. Very translucent.
All the colours of the rainbow. Right. What was I about to say? Brock and Cody. That's right. Do you know why this was a very, 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 and very terrible feud? Do you know why ultimately that is called that?
I would like to know from your perspective. I already know why it's a terrible feud.
Okay. Because there was no feud. And the reason I state this, because you could argue, well, of course there was a feud. They've been brawling on Raw for months. How can you say there's no feud? Because there was never a reason given to why this is happening to begin with. You can't just brawl week after week and then have a match, brawl week after week, have a match, brawl again week after week for another match with no reason given as to why you were brawling to build up to a match to begin with. Do you know what that gives me the sense of? It's like when if you have a brother and you're at home, brothers would usually do things at random. They would brawl around the house when they're kids for no reason at all. Just like Brock and Cody, for no reason at all, are brawling against each other to build up to 3 matches for no reason at all. So that's why this is terrible. And it's even worse because the reason that was given for the first match at Backlash in Puerto Rico, was that Wade Barrett on commentary, I believe, said that Brock Lesnar was annoyed that his match against Omos, that opened night 2 of WrestleMania 39, happened before the match that Cody Rhodes was in the main event of that same pay-per-view. So Brock got annoyed that he wrestled a match before Cody did, so on the Raw afterwards, he decided to attack Cody because of that. That was the actual reason given as to why the first match happened. Ever since then, Brock hasn't said a damn thing about why he is still wanting to kick Cody's ass. He's not said a damn thing outside of, "Look at my face. Cody, look at my face." That's the only thing he's essentially said to Cody in the past 4 months. "Look at my face." That's the only thing he said, really. So, Cody had to win via a roll-up at Backlash, just to then lose via a pass-out at Night of Champions, which wasn't even a match for a championship, so why was that even on the pay-per-view that was supposed to be about champions? But whatever, that's an entirely different point. And then they built up to a third match because they're now 1-1, so they have to finish it off right with a clear, decisive winner of the feud, which isn't even a feud because it's just a bunch of nonsense. Look at my face. That's the feud. Brock wants Cody to look at his face. That is the feud. So yeah, SummerSlam, the third and final match, apparently, between them has now happened, and Cody has won decisively, even though technically it should have ended via disqualification when he hit Brock Lesnar with the steel steps on the outside.
I was going to mention that. I don't mean to cut you off, Josh. I was going to mention that. Why did Cody Rhodes hit Brock Lesnar with the steel steps? It was not a DQ. Who's that fucking referee? That referee is going to be a winner of the Get Off My TV Referee Awards because there should be no goddamn reason you should hit another man with a steel steps and you're right there in front of the man. That's ridiculous. Whoever the fuck that referee was it Eddie Orango or Jason Ayers or somebody? Did you know who the referee was, Josh?
I don't know a single name for any of the referees in any company. I can't name a single referee in the entire existence of professional wrestling. Outside of Charles Robinson, because he did that legendary mile run down the ramp at WrestleMania 24 in the main event between Edge and The Undertaker. He was the replacement referee after the first one got knocked out. So he ran all the way down and he slid in the ring beautifully to pin the tombstone, I think, and then Edge kicked out. That was beautiful. So yeah, Charles Robinson is the only referee that I can name at the top of my head. I know he wasn't in this match, so
that's fair. But I will say this. I don't mean to stop you, Josh, but I will say this. Okay, well, I will say this. Cody Rhodes got whooped for a good 13 minutes in this match. This match, by the way, went 18 minutes. I'm not making this up. This went 18 minutes, and it did not have a DQ. And then Cody Rhodes hit 3 straight crossroads to finish off Brock Lesnar. 3 crossroads. It took 5 finishers to pin Brock Lesnar. 5. That is enough. No rating for this match at all. At all. Go ahead. And I cannot hear you, Josh. Your mic's off.
How long has it been off for?
It was off for like 30 seconds, but I can hear you now, so go ahead.
Okay, so everything I said previously. Okay. You got me worried then, Ben. I'm not going to give a rating either because I'm done giving ratings, as I said a few minutes ago. But yeah, this match technically was won by Brock Lesnar because of the DQ that never happened because of referee discretion, which is a stupid thing to have in professional wrestling. Now, was there another point I was going to make? The way this match was produced. Now, the first match between Ricochet and Logan Paul was overly organized, overly choreographed, to the point it was just a training session, really. Like a typical standard AEW match. This match, however, was a lot more believable in the performance, but this should have been a lot more of a 50-50 fight than it was a like 70 like a 80-20 dominant takedown by Brock Lesnar. Cody should have been a lot more defensive, a lot more offensive against Brock than he actually was. The only reason that Cody Rhodes even went on to win is because he used the steel steps to basically disorientate, I think is the word, Brock Lesnar. He basically cheated to get the win. Cody Rhodes is a man, he is a wrestler that doesn't cheat. Cody Rhodes is a very serious, I've got to beat you fair and square type of wrestler. And yet in this match, he used the steel steps to get the advantage against his opponent, being Brock Lesnar, because he felt like he couldn't win any other way. That to me was a discredit to his character and a discredit to this lack of feud, really. Like, if they wanted to use weapons, then just have a hardcore match or an Extreme Rules match or a street fight match, whatever word you want to use for it. Have a no DQ match if you have to. But no, this was a standard match, and Cody Rhodes won in a way that I never thought that he would. And that, to me, is a detriment to him as a wrestler and the way that I perceive him going forward. So this was a bad match in a very terrible feud that never should have happened. Now, I would argue, before I stop rambling again, because I do that every time.
No,
I ramble.
You're making good points. But go ahead.
I will mention this now. If Cody Rhodes had beaten Roman Reigns as he should have done at WrestleMania 39, and this feud was for the WWE Championship, then everything that's happened in this feud since the night after WrestleMania would have made a lot more sense as to why it's happening. Because then they would have a reason, Brock Lesnar wants to become the WWE Champion again. That would be a fair enough reason as to why he keeps attacking Cody Rhodes, right? That would be fair enough, fine. And this feud would make a lot more sense. The matches would probably be a lot more intriguing to invest in as a viewer.
Yeah,
because
it would be a lot more important.
Yeah, because everything they've done seems to be
meshed together, I would say.
No. Like, what I'm trying to say is the point I've just made. It's like Triple H has planted out the chapters of this feud in a way that would happen for if Cody Rhodes was the WWE champion. But because he's not, this feud feels like it's pointless and it's happening for no reason. It feels like it's missing the championship that he should have won to begin with. That's me. That's the way that I see it. I don't know if you feel the same way, but
I mean, hey, you do have a good point when you said that Triple H is like booking Cody Rhodes into the, if he was WWE champion and stuff like that. I mean, I see your reasoning behind it, but I mean, it's possible that Cody Rhodes down the line is going to be world champion. A lot of people want him as world champion because he beat Brock Lesnar now, because all of a sudden, like, there's nothing for Cody really to do unless Cody has a major feud, and he can't feud with the Judgment Day, who is already get off TV material. They're on all fucking 3 shows. And you expect me not to say nothing about that? Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, as I said, no rating for this match at all. We do have to move on, but I will say this before we move on to the Battle Royal. This match did not need to happen. This sucks. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this shit ever again. This feud is fucking terrible. Get Cody and Brock. I don't want these men fighting no more. No more after this, please. Seriously, that's all I ask.
Before we move on, I would be interested in a feud between Cody and Brock for if Cody did beat Roman Reigns. So then this would be for the WWE Championship, so they would have a reason to feud. But because that did not happen, I don't really give a single shit about anything they've done. And Brock Lesnar, and this is the most important point about all this, Brock Lesnar at the end of the match, as you mentioned earlier on, he gave the handshake and the hug and the arm raise, to show his respect and appreciation to Cody, basically stating, this is the next future headliner of this company. This is my stamp of approval. I believe in Cody Rhodes as a main eventer and a main champion of this company going forward. That is what Brock was basically saying by doing what he did at the end of the match. I loved the imagery of Brock shaking Cody's hand, but it doesn't mean anything because of the non-existent feud that came prior to all of this. And Cody Rhodes will not become champion until next year at WrestleMania. I guarantee. They are building to Roman against Cody Rhodes all over again a whole year later at WrestleMania 40. Because they want to give Cody Rhodes I forgot the word. Oh no.
Momentum.
I love you, Ben. I love you. You are in my head. You know exactly the words I'm trying to think of. I love you for that. Yes, they are trying to give Cody Rhodes momentum and build up to be a credible challenger to become the next WWE champion when he finally dethrones Roman Reigns next year. But will that actually happen? Time will tell. But that is my way of seeing it. That is my prediction. Hopefully I'm wrong, because I have no interest in that anymore. If they wanted to do that, then just give them the win at WrestleMania 39. But no, they didn't. So I don't care.
Well, hey, at least he's an honest man. He's an honest man.
Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. I think this is their third bout. I'm not sure. Third or fourth bout now. I gave that a 0 rating too, because I don't care about this feud. Cody won. He shook hands. but still a 0 rating.
All right, Slim Jim SummerSlam Battle Royal. Oh boy, do I got to talk about this Battle Royal or what? First of all the people in this Battle Royal.
No, no.
Oh man. Well, all you need to know, LA Knight won the Battle Royal. All right, that's all you need to know, guys. That's all you need to know.
I didn't mean you had to skip it. I was just being sarcastic, but yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well, anyway, I know some of the people that were in the Battle Royal. Sheamus was in the Battle Royal. Bronson Reed, I believe Shinsuke was in the Battle Royal. Austin Theory, the U.S. champion, was in the Battle Royal. Why? I don't know. Don't ask me, Josh. Don't ask me. Viking Raiders were in the Battle Royal. Apollo Crews. Did anyone forget about Apollo Crews? Did anyone even know Apollo Crews is still even employed? JD Madonna was in the Battle Royal. The Viking Raiders were in the Battle Royal. A couple of other tag teams were in the Battle Royal. Why? Don't ask me. And then Final Four was LA Knight, Sheamus, Bronson Reed, and I believe who was the last Final Four? Who was the Final Four, Josh? Do you know? It was LA Knight, Sheamus, Bronson Reed, and somebody else. It was not Theory. I know that. Unless it was Theory.
Chad Gable?
Yes, I believe so. Chad Gable was in the Battle Royal. No, Chad Gable got eliminated.
Yeah, but,
Chad Gable got eliminated.
but wasn't he Final Four or Final Five?
Yeah, I think he was. I wouldn't be surprised, though. But LA Knight eliminated Sheamus to win the Battle Royal. Would I give a rating for this shit? I'll be honest with you. No. LA Knight is getting over, and I do appreciate it. LA Knight is actually getting like a lot of momentum and a lot of credit behind him. It's just the fact that LA Knight has not gotten to the point where LA Knight needs to go. Like his potential is kind of being lowered more than it is being raised. And I do feel like LA Knight is going to eventually be a great champion. The question is, do we put the U.S. title on him? A lot of people want him to win the U.S. title now, apparently because LA Knight and LA Knight and Austin Theory, they kind of been crossing paths a couple of times here and there. So that's that. But apparently Santos and Theory are going to be fighting for the U.S. title on SmackDown. So I'm intrigued about where they're going to go with the U.S. title, but a lot of people want LA. Well, no, Josh's face said it all. I'm not intrigued in the U.S. title. Give me a fucking break. You fucking kidding me? Anyway, LA Knight won the Battle Royal, and LA Knight is, very popular in WWE. So, LA Knight, yeah. Rating for this match, 0. 0. This did not need to be on the show. 0 and 0. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. A few points about this.
Yeah.
One, I believe Cameron Grimes got eliminated twice. Because he got eliminated, I think he was the second one out. I think it was Apollo first and then him second. And then he appeared yet again in the ring a few minutes later. I was like, what? Why is he still there? He gets thrown out by Omos 5 minutes ago.
Oh my God! Oh my God! JD McDonough chucked on the outside onto Apollo Crews.
What is he doing there? And then, what did they win by winning this Battle Royal? Did they win a lifetime amount of Slim Jims? What did they win? What was the point? Just like Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar for the third time, what was the point of this match? This is the second match now that has been pointless on this pay-per-view.
WWE officials are watching this very carefully, very closely to look at maybe who deserves a future title opportunity.
Apparently, they got paid a lot of money by the Slim Jim organization to put this match on this pay-per-view. A lot of advertising money or whatever the deal was that they signed. Getting millions of dollars, or however the thing goes. Whatever. Point made. Yeah. So this match was pointless. Cameron Grimes got eliminated twice, I believe, if I was paying attention. But knowing me, I wasn't, because it was a battle royal.
Oh my God! Oh my God! JD McDonough chucked on the outside onto Apollo Crews,
which is one of the worst matches in the history of the company and the history of wrestling. I hate battle royals. I would like battle royals if they were produced correctly, but I've never seen one that was done right, really. Austin Theory, to your point about the United States Championship. Fuck me. Okay, so they have just recently done a #1 contenders tournament on SmackDown to crown the new challenger for Austin Theory. In the middle of doing the tournament, Santos Escobar had a non-title victory against Austin Theory when the tournament to crown the #1 contender was still ongoing. And yet then he eliminated Austin Theory from this battle royal, and I'm expected as the viewer to care about the championship match between them now. When I've already seen the #1 contender already beat the champion in the middle of the tournament. And then,
See, this is why Josh is back on the show, everybody. This is why Josh is on the show.
And then instead of having a United States Championship match on this pay-per-view, which would have been a lot better than having a pointless battle royal or by whatever. Instead of having actual championship matches that would be a lot more credible to have, they get thrown aside to the weekly programming, and even then they are treated like they don't matter at all. So Austin Theory, in the press conference after this pay-per-view on the YouTube or the network, Triple H was asked why Austin Theory was in the Battle Royal. And he basically said, oh, well, there was no other way to put him on the card. So if he wanted to be used, then I would have had to place him in the Battle Royal. So I did. Right? So, yeah. Triple H can fuck off. There were a lot.
First of all,
yeah.
Sorry to cut you off, Josh. First of all, Austin Theory should have not been in this battle royal to begin with, as Josh I think was going to say. I think also Santos and Austin Theory would have been better at the pay-per-view. I don't care if Santos lost. At least Santos would probably get a rematch with Austin Theory if he loses here at SummerSlam, which I actually would have been a little bit skeptical about. But then again, it's WWE. What do you expect from these people? But I want to point out the tag team champions were not on this show. The women's tag team champions were not on this show.
Rhea Ripley, who is the women's world champion, wasn't
not on this show.
Well, she
disappeared.
She technically was later on, but we'll get into that later. And we'll get into the Triple H questions later on the press conference, because I got pissed off a lot doing that. I will say this now. I do not believe in Triple H anymore. I am done. I want him gone. I am done. I do not want him booking anything else ever again. He's done. Fuck off. It is no longer time for me to watch him play the game. It's done. Finish it now.
Hey, this is why Josh is on the show. This is why Josh is here.
Yes. And who won the Battle Royal?
LA Knight.
Oh yeah, him. Yeah, him.
Yeah.
I don't really care for LA Knight. I don't see the interest in him as a wrestler. He's not credible. For the past year or so, he's been wasted. He's not been built up to a point where I would want to see him in a championship position of any kind. I don't really like him as a character either, so the interest in him for me personally is mostly a zero. So, so yeah.
Hey, this is Josh's perspective and his opinion, not mine or anyone else's. All right, LA Knight is over. We will say that. All right, but LA Knight won the Battle Royal. That's all I need to know. I gave this a 0 rating. Still, my opinion has not changed about this.
They took off time. They took off Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch for this. A Slim Jim Battle Royal, which I did not watch at all. I gave that match a 0 rating. But the only good thing about that is that LA Knight won. He's like red hot right now. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the first few matches.
And this next match is also getting another 0 rating because this was a fucking waste of absolute fucking garbage. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. MMA rules. Jesus fucking Christ. We're not even reviewing this match. No rating for this shit at all. Shayna Baszler won. She choked out Ronda Rousey. That's all you need to know. Who gives a shit? Not me. GUNTHER versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental title. Josh was going to make a point, but we'll let him talk. Go ahead.
Okay, fine. Apparently, Ronda Rousey is now done with the company. Fuck off.
Yeah.
I never want to see her again in anything. Yeah. Bye, Ronda Rousey. She was absolutely terrible. She did not know how to wrestle at all. She was fucking horrendous. She is one of the worst signings in the history of the company. Vince McMahon could have signed the shit that is being produced out of my ass, and that would have been a better wrestler than fucking Ronda Rousey.
Oh man, Josh never changed. Never changed. All right, no rating for this match at all. I'm not talking about this match anymore. Ronda Rousey, I hope you stay unemployed. I know your contract's coming up, but when you are unemployed, please stay unemployed. We don't need you in UFC. We don't need you in WWE. We don't need you anywhere. Get off television. I'm saying this one time.
Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler in a MMA rules match. I'll give it wrestling 0, logic 6 because Shayna Baszler won. Even though this was an MMA fight, it wasn't really an MMA fight, not a good one, at least that I've seen. I know Ronda Rousey can hit way harder than that. I know they were trying to protect each other and not hurt each other, but still, what? Whatever, man. Yeah, that's what I think.
Gunther versus Drew McIntyre for the Intercontinental title. This match was awesome, except the goddamn finish. I expected this match.
Wait, what? Except for what now?
Except for the ending of the match, which I did not agree the ending of the match should have ended in the way that it did. I will say this match was actually a pretty solid match. Despite all of the people, I thought this match was going to be a little bit longer, as a matter of fact. I thought this was going to go 25 minutes. I thought it was going to be like that. I mean, these guys beat the hell out of each other. What the hell you want me to say? I mean, all they were doing, just chops. Drew McIntyre hit a Claymore at one point. Gunther kicked out. I mean, it was a pretty normal Gunther match, to be honest with you. I mean, I feel like the match could have went, a little bit more. The match could have been longer, and then the match could have picked up into its final sequence where Drew goes for the Claymore, but then Gunther moves out of the way. Then he hits a lariat, and I feel like they didn't kick it into that third gear, which I think they should have done here. But I do agree with this match being a pretty solid, decent Gunther match. Gunther's still Intercontinental champion, as you guys know. Gunther is not losing that Intercontinental title until next year. You guys know the deal. Gunther versus Drew McIntyre. I gave this match a 7. Logic, probably a 1. Really, I'll give it a 1 because Gunther was gonna win, and this match was kind of super predictable to begin with. They already told you Gunther was gonna win. They already told you Gunther was gonna win. When Drew and Gunther had that face off on Raw, they already told you they were gonna win. Josh is disagreeing with my perspective, so I might as well let him talk. Go ahead.
Finish your point first, Ben. I don't want to interrupt. So.
No. I mean, listen. I mean, you. No, it's okay. Well, all right, but a lot of people want Gunther to stay Intercontinental champion, and I know some people who actually want Gunther to lose the Intercontinental title, and I'm like, whoa, hell no, no. Oh yeah, Josh's reactions is mine, but man, oh man, I'm hearing rumors now. People want Chad Gable to win the Intercontinental title. Why the fuck would Chad Gable win it? I mean, I would love to see the match, but I mean, again, there's no point in the match if Gunther is still Intercontinental champion, and then it makes Chad Gable look kind of a chump in there. So I would see Chad Gable fighting for the Intercontinental title. Don't get me wrong. I mean, really, on Raw, there's nobody else I want to see face Gunther again for the Intercontinental title. Really. Only person I would want to see is Ricochet, because Ricochet has been getting some, matches here and there, and he's gotten a little bit of credibility to his name. I mean, that would be cool. So, but again, they've already faced off, Ricochet and Gunther. So, that's that. But what do you think, Josh?
Well, in terms of Ricochet against Gunther, formerly known as Vault, as he should have still been called to this day, but I digress. The company does the name changes, so it is what it is. I remember having seen an interview on YouTube, might have been Cultaholic or What Culture, maybe even Wrestle Talk, one of those wrestling channels. They interviewed Gunther. When would have this been? Anyway, they interviewed Gunther some time ago about his name change, and he said, "Well, his real name is I think if I'm remembering correctly here, he said his real name is Walter or Walter, but he knew that the company would want to to own the name that his character would wrestle under. So when he went to NXT in America, they did just that. They decided to change his name to Gunther.
Yeah.
And he said in the interview that he accepted the name change because he understood that they couldn't own the rights to his actual name, being Walter. So he just went along with it, and he said, my name is my name. It doesn't matter what my character name is. What matters most is what I do with the character and the way I perform in the ring.
When they changed your name, a lot of your fans were very upset, and I recall a tweet even from Keith Lee saying, you know, poor Walter, and everyone thought that they were burying you before you even got to the main roster.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you ever felt that way, and was there ever a chip on your shoulder to see, like, it doesn't matter what my name is. My name could be Mr. X. I'm still me, and I'm going to prove all of you wrong, that I'm not going to get buried, and that I'm going to be better than I was on the Indies or NXT.
Yeah, 100%. I wasn't too worried about it, because at the end, before it was Walter, that's my real name. So at some point that they will have an interest to change that and make it their own, I understand that. I think I would act the same if I would own the company. And at the end of the day, it's not that big a difference, because Walter is a very old German name. It's like nobody my age is named Walter in Austria anymore. It's like I'm a rarity when it comes to that. So Gunther just is in the same category as that. I think if it would have been the other way around, and Gunther would be my real name, and they would change it to Walter, it would have been the exact same reaction. I think people like to jump on things, and there's like almost like a collective panic that people join in. And even if other people that are wrestlers make comments or something, I don't know. I worry about my stuff. If they feel the need to worry about me, that's nice of them, but I don't think there's any need to worry about anything at the end.
See, he's a smart man.
Yeah. Even though I would have preferred him to stick with the name that he had in NXT UK and on the independent scene, because I am an advocate to have a name and then stick with that name throughout your entire career. I don't like I don't support big name changes. I don't really support character changes either, but because I would, in my idealistic worldview of professional wrestling, if John Cena went to Impact Wrestling or Ring of Honor or I know you're laughing, but just hear my point out. Just hear my point out. If John Cena went to Impact, Ring of Honor, AEW, New Japan, whatever the company is, I would prefer him to remain the character of John Cena that he was in WWE. And then anybody who comes from Impact or AEW going to WWE, they should stay the same character and the same name. The history of the wrestler should carry forward wherever they go and should be recognized wherever they go. Sadly, WWE doesn't do this because they exist in their own bubble and they pretend like every other company doesn't exist for some stupid reason. But in my idealistic worldview, that is how I would have it. I would have trades between companies, like an actual draft. I would have a world championship that would actually be a world championship defended in every single company or every single main company. It didn't have to be the independent ones. That's fine. It didn't have to be over the top like that. I would have like an actual proper system in place between these companies that connects them all together. But that's me. I'm probably in the minority when it comes to that. And I've said all that because of Gunther's name change. My God,
Yes.
I can ramble like nobody's business.
No, it's okay. As long as you talk about the match, all right?
Well, I technically wasn't. But yeah, about the match, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be. I was quite disappointed in this, actually.
Me too. Me too.
This is a
Go ahead.
match I never want to go back and rewatch. This was very lackluster. This was very. In my mind, I was expecting like a very serious, very memorable matchup here between them, because I know it's Gunther against Drew McIntyre, two very, very good wrestlers who can perform a very, very good match. And this is what they gave us. I was very disappointed. But what I wasn't disappointed by is the result. Gunther winning was the right thing, and you said it was very predictable. I disagree, because I went into when Drew made his return at SummerSlam, and it wasn't SummerSlam. This is some Money in the Bank. When Drew McIntyre made his return at Money in the Bank last month, the first impression I got was, oh shit, he's the one who's going to beat Gunther at SummerSlam. Oh, don't end it before he breaks the record. Please don't do that. Please don't. And I kept thinking that Drew was going to win. He got brought back to the company to beat Gunther to become the new Intercontinental Champion, based on Gunther having pinned Drew to win the triple threat at WrestleMania. So I thought the story was there. Drew comes back after losing, just to then get his revenge and beat Gunther. That is the story I thought that they were telling. And then, to my surprise, Gunther beat Drew, and clean. I thought, wow, they are taking Gunther seriously as a champion. Thank you. But as you said, the ending, the splash, and then the clothesline, and then the powerbomb, it felt disconnected. Like, Gunther hits the splash, 1, 2, 3, there we go. That's enough. You don't need to do the clothesline and then the powerbomb afterwards. Just end it with the splash, you know. But yeah, I'm happy Gunther won. Correct result. I am hoping, and I am expecting Gunther now to beat the Honky Tonk Man's record, and to be the longest ever reigning and defending Intercontinental Champion in the history of the company. I want him to hold it until at least Survivor Series. But he might go on to hold it until next WrestleMania if we're lucky. But my question here, Ben, and I don't know how to answer this myself. Who is the one who should be built up credible enough to beat Gunther cleanly to become the new Intercontinental Champion? Who is there on the roster to be the one to beat Gunther? Who is it? I can't name a single person.
Yeah, I can't name nobody either. It's gonna be tough. I mean, unless somebody gets called up like a Carmelo Hayes, and then he can beat Gunther. But again, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Carmelo Hayes is kind of doing, he's kind of holding down the fort for NXT, so I wouldn't be surprised. But if Carmelo Hayes gets called up, he beats Gunther, hey, I wouldn't mind. Cool, great. But again, we got to get there first. We got to get there.
For me, it's
okay. Next match.
Handle it really.
Yeah, good point, Josh. Good point.
Drew McIntyre versus Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship. I drooled about this match, the possibility of this match happening back in our Backlash review. And I thought this would be an absolute banger, but it turns out they didn't meet those expectations. This was a 7 out of 10 at best. Wrestling logic, I'll give it a 6 because Gunther won. I think Drew overdid it with the faces. He did that lariat, and then the camera zoomed in on his face. It was like making super angry facial expressions. I didn't like that. Now that's what made me not like Bianca Belair when she was champion, because she did a similar thing, or maybe not a similar thing, but generally people don't like that when baby faces are booked like that. They have to look super strong and immortal with no flaws whatsoever. I just don't like that type of booking, and I think that's something that we saw in Drew McIntyre, the way he carried himself in this match. It was kind of a Cena-ish type of stuff. Even though he lost, Gunther won. But yeah, I like Gunther when he was in control of the match. This went like approximately 15 minutes. 10 to 15 minutes, which I guess is fine, especially with how the match went. It shouldn't have gone any longer, because that was kind of disappointing, honestly. I don't know if they're gonna have another match down the line, but if they do, I hope it's way better than this. They go over this match very carefully, and they see this match was kind of anticlimactic. And on another note, why is the United States Championship not being defended on pay-per-views? The last time I know that Austin Theory defended his belt was WrestleMania, which was like back in April. That was 4 months ago, which is not good. That's frightening. Is Austin Theory just gonna sit there at home and not defend the belt? Because at that point you might as well unify the U.S. title with the World Heavyweight title. Because I don't know, man. I guess when Seth Rollins on Raw, I think, and he fought Finn Bálor, the Judgment Days on Raw. I heard that with Dominic having won the NXT North American Championship, that they're gonna unify it with the US title, but I don't know how that's gonna happen, considering the Judgment Day is on Raw and the United States Championship is on SmackDown. That's just a concern that I wanted to raise. But yeah, wrestling for this match, Gunther versus McIntyre, I'll give wrestling a 7 and logic a 6. I was expecting way better, but
This episode of Rope Break is interrupted to advertise Lux Open Radio certified bangers, a roller coaster of music consisting of drum and bass, indie pop, pop and R&B, soundtracks. Anything else that comes to Kgabel's mind, as well as world news and special guests. You can listen to Life's Opening Radio certified bangers every Sunday afternoon on Spotify. Back to your regular scheduled programming.
After that discussion, we have our next match. Seth Rollins versus Finn Bálor for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, which Josh does not like the World Heavyweight Championship under any shape or form. Unless that is not true. Would you like to confirm that, Josh?
What gives you that impression? Right, we are recording again. Oh, fuck me. Right, my laptop just decided. Hang on, if I can. There we go. I've got the screens back now, and the audio. I'm hoping the audio is recording now. My laptop, as we were discussing the start of the World Heavyweight Championship match. My laptop decided to switch itself off because the battery drained to 0 because I wasn't paying attention to the battery because it wasn't plugged in charging. So that was my fault for the sudden interruption there. That was completely my fault. I wasn't paying attention to the battery, even though the message did warn me a few minutes earlier, but I wasn't paying attention. So yeah, now we're back. Hopefully, the audio hasn't messed up because of that. I'm hoping. So yeah, Ben, what gave you the impression I don't like the World Heavyweight Championship?
Well, from my perspective, I originally thought you hated it. Like when it first showed on Raw, when I showed you the picture of the World Heavyweight title, I thought you was like, "Oh my God! Like, why is this happening? You know, like why is this on the show? Like, why is this a title all of a sudden and stuff like that?" So I thought you were a bit upset about the World Heavyweight Championship being unveiled. And considering where the times that we are now, I don't know if your feelings are still the same about it or if it has changed, because it's actually been built up with actual people who can fight for the world title and stuff like that. So I'm trying to figure out your perspective on that.
Okay. I understand your viewpoint. I don't see the point of having a World Heavyweight Championship when the Intercontinental Championship is there. And the reason I say this is because, and this will be a question directed to you actually. Can you honestly tell me what the difference is between the concept of what the Intercontinental Championship represents and what the World Heavyweight Championship represents? Can you tell me the difference and why there should be two separate championships between them?
Okay. I will try my best to explain this to all of you. This is a very interesting question that Josh asked. The Intercontinental Championship is supposed to be the kind of title where, you know, you're next in line Like you're not promised a world championship match, but you're next in line, like the future guy to fight for the world title. Now, Josh, disagree with me. Listen, it's a stepping stone to the world title, essentially. Maybe it's not to Josh, maybe it's entirely different. We both got different opinions. That's why this show exists. So I feel like the Intercontinental title is gonna be a thing where like people they want like it represents everyone around the world apparently because it's Intercontinental. Yep. Okay. I see Josh's reasoning now. I mean, in wrestling terms, like in wrestling lingo, like the World Heavyweight Championship, where like it represents you being the top guy apparently in the company, and the guy that you represent the entire company. You represent the people watching as well. Josh has differing opinions on this as well. I will say that the World Heavyweight Championship has been a little bit underwhelming with the way it's been built up and stuff like that. Like we never really got a reason for it. All right. But yeah, Intercontinental Championship, it represents the whole world, and then the World Heavyweight Championship represents the top title in the company. That's what I was supposed to say. I do believe that Seth has been pretty good as world champion. As a matter of fact, he's just been involved with this feud with the Judgment Day, which they're everywhere. They're on television. They're on Raw. They're on NXT. They're on SmackDown. They were on SmackDown 3 weeks ago. That's a little bit too much. A little bit too much right there. A little bit too much. But Seth Rollins versus Finn Bálor for the World Heavyweight Championship. Despite what everyone else thinks about the World Heavyweight Championship, we must review this match. This match was the second best thing on the entire show. I can confirm. This was awesome. Good match. I will say this. Damian Priest walking down to the ring, and then Finn Bálor getting distracted. Finn Bálor looked like a dumbass for the second pay-per-view in a row. I almost said second week in a row. No, second pay-per-view in a row. Finn Bálor looked like a geek in this pay-per-view finish. And then Seth Rollins beats Finn Bálor again because Damian Priest was about to cash in on Finn Bálor. Excuse me, Seth Rollins. I don't know where this is going because like Damian Priest is kind of a lot of people kind of like Damian Priest now. Like a lot of people like Damian Priest. I like Damian Priest. We like Damian Priest on this show. It's just the fact that it's just the fact that he's in Judgment Day, and then all of a sudden, some people want Damian Priest to break out, especially as a babyface. A little bit more serious Damian Priest, a little bit more darker side of Damian Priest. I mean, some people would appreciate that. I mean, I'm sure Josh probably would feel the same way, but again, it's just the fact that he's in Judgment Day, and a lot of people like Damian Priest. So I don't see why Damian Priest should not be breaking up with the Judgment Day anytime soon. But I will say this, Seth Rollins and Finn Bálor put on a great match. I will say this was better than their Money in the Bank match that they had, where Finn Bálor lost like a geek. But I will say this, these guys have great chemistry together. Like, Seth and Finn, like, they have history. You guys know the history. But it's only fair that Seth and Finn had to put on a great match here at SummerSlam because there was no other way to go about it. And then they did. I thought this match was good. I gave this match an 8.5. Logic, probably, I'll give it a 6. I mean, this is one of my more fair ratings here on this entire. Like the second half of this show was not boring. It was actually pretty solid with some good in-ring stuff. It's just that the first half of the show was, Jesus Christ, rough to get through. But other than that, Seth Rollins, Finn Bálor, 8.5, Logic a 6. Josh, go ahead. And Seth Rollins won with the curve stomp. That's all you need to know. You guys know how to win. Go ahead, Josh.
Yes. Yes. The story was 7 years in the making. The tattoo or the face paint on the shoulder of Finn Balor. And Seth wore the same attire. Apparently Seth wore the same attire he did in SummerSlam 2016.
Similar.
Where the initial match happened between them for the Universal Championship. So, yeah. I would much rather the World Heavyweight Championship than the Universal one. By fucking miles. Yeah, this match happened. I don't have anything to say. I don't like the way that they're using the.
Josh is relatively speechless. Josh is relatively speechless.
Yeah, I don't have anything to say. I don't remember anything about this match really.
Wow.
I don't really care for it.
He's an honest man.
The Money in the Bank. I don't appreciate the way that they are continuing to handle the concept of the Money in the Bank. Having Damian Priest come out mostly every week, teasing he's going to cash in and then he doesn't. I don't like that format of teasing, and then nothing happens. And then when it does eventually happen, I'm like, I don't care. You've already teased like 1,000 times. I don't care when you actually do cash in. You know, it's happened so many times over the past 17 years since Edge won the first one in 2005 at WrestleMania 21. They either actually no, it's both. They tease relentlessly that they are going to cash in, and then they don't until they actually do, and they usually lose every match that they're in until they do cash in, to the point that they then get taken seriously, or they don't get taken seriously as the champion. So I don't really care for the Money in the Bank anymore. If they were to cancel the match entirely, I would probably support it because they obviously don't care for it anymore. So yeah, the ending of this match was stupid. It was pointless. They're building up to break up the Judgment Day because they keep teasing that now for the past few months. And I have no interest in where this is going. Seth Rollins has retained. He is still the World Heavyweight Champion. I suppose good for him, but I don't care. I don't know who he's going to feud with next, but I don't care. And the point about the differences between the Intercontinental Championship and the World Heavyweight Championship is that the Intercontinental Championship, to me, is the World Heavyweight Championship. It's just called a different name, which represents the exact same thing. And also, the World Heavyweight Championship, to me, is pointless, because you were right about your assumption, Ben. I have never in the history of the company have supported having a World Heavyweight Championship. Never. Because you already have the WWE Championship, which is the championship of the company. To me, the World Heavyweight Championship represents the whole world. And going back to my idealistic way of seeing professional wrestling, which isn't the way it is, by the way, I want to make that perfectly clear. It is pure fantasy in my mind on how I would have it. The World Heavyweight Championship would represent the entire planet that we live on in terms of professional wrestling, and it doesn't do that. It's just it's just the championship that is called the World Heavyweight Championship, which is the exact same thing as the WWE Championship in terms of how it's used and how it's well represented. It's basically a copy and paste of the WWE Championship. It's just called the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah.
They don't make me believe in the World Heavyweight Championship being the World Heavyweight Championship because they've already got that in the well, technically, they've already got that in the Intercontinental Championship, including the WWE Championship.
Yeah. I mean, AEW has the real World Championship held by CM Punk, and then Jesus Christ, give me a fucking break. Like, we're gonna be caring about that shit. Give me a fucking break. We're not here to talk AEW. Give me a fucking break. I do know one thing. I agree with you on that, on your point. I do think they should. I don't think they're going to unify the belts anytime soon, considering with the strange kind of wording with the stuff. Like, for instance, SmackDown, they have the Universal Championship, the Undisputed Universal Championship. Then they have the WWE Women's Championship. Like, what? Like, come on. What's the goddamn difference? Like, Rhea Ripley has the WWE Undisputed Women's Championship. I'm like, what?
No.
What?
No.
Go ahead.
The difference is that there is none. Because, as my point is, as I've already said about the men's World Championship, Rhea Ripley is the Women's World Champion, meaning she is the champion of the entire world that is the company of the WWE. But is that not already what Io Sky now is? Because she is the WWE Women's Champion. Like, it's just different names representing the same championship.
It's weird.
It's like it's a twin, but they're not really.
Yeah.
It's so fucking stupid. Like, are you the champion of the world, or are you the champion of the company? For me, there is a clear difference, but to them, there isn't. Like, what is the difference? Why have the Intercontinental Championship for the men when you've already got the World Heavyweight Championship, when on the other side you've already got the WWE Championship? And why have the North American United States Championship? No, hang on. Why have the... breathe, Josh.
Why have the United States Championship and then the North American Championship on NXT?
It's the same.
I think we get your idea. Yeah.
The United States Championship, right, is represented in the Intercontinental Championship, and is also represented in the World Heavyweight Championship. So why have... essentially, there is 1, 2, 3... Essentially, there are 4 United States champions in the fucking company. Think about that. The World Heavyweight Championship represents the whole world. Therefore, it also represents the United States. The Intercontinental Championship technically is supposed to represent the whole world. Therefore, it also represents the United States. The United States Championship
the US
is... Well,
representing the United States.
Yes.
And the North American title represents the United States.
And also,
I think we all.
Mexico. But yeah. Why have, and this is another issue completely, why have championships based on countries? Like it's
always been like that, though. It's always been like that.
It's stupid. It's pointless. If you're going to do that, then do it in the way that they do it in the like they do in football for the World Series or whatever it is.
Yeah, good point.
You have separate companies representing each individual country, and then you have like one guy representing each country to then challenge all the other countries, and the winner will become the world heavyweight champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not happening because that's not the reality of things. That is pure fantasy in my fucking mind.
Yeah, and I also want to. I don't mean to cut you off. But I do agree with you about that. I think that would be cool. It's just that I do feel like a lot of people they like what they like and stuff like that, and it's separate. And don't get me wrong, that's cool too. But I mean, wrestling should be together as a whole collective. To be honest with you, I mean, I never really thought of it like that. Now you're bringing this up to my attention. I never thought of. I
really?
I don't pay attention to the meaning of titles and stuff like that. I don't pay attention to that. Like, I mean, not that I don't care, but it's just okay. All right. I mean, that's you. I mean, listen, but again, I mean, wrestling should be together as a whole collective. And with the way the Judgment Day is, they're not really fully in sync. Like they already got Dominic Mysterio. Already get off television, by the way. And Jesus Christ, the less I say about him, the better. And then they have Rhea Ripley, and then Damian Priest and Finn Bálor. And then I feel like they're not collective. And there's no leader in the group. We don't know who the fucking leader is. We don't know if it's Rhea Ripley. We don't know if it's Finn Bálor himself. We don't know who's the leader of the damn group. So that's why I'm saying they're not collective, just like the World Heavyweight Championship theory that Josh has. Not theory, but the collective thing that he has.
Which is funny because Austin Theory is the United States champion currently. So the pun strikes again. I am sorry.
It's okay, Josh. It's all right. We do have to move on, though. We were talking about this for a good almost 10 minutes now, but yes, Seth Rollins is still your World Heavyweight Champion. All right, next match, the semi-main event of this show. By the way, this show went 4.5 motherfucking hours. 4 hours.
Did it?
Yes. 4.5 hours.
Are you sure?
4 hours. Yep, positive. This went 4 hours. Well, it didn't go exactly 4.5 hours. It went 4 hours, 15 minutes. Josh is perplexed, befuddled, and bewildered. Yes, I don't blame him.
No, it's just this could be my very, very bad sense of time, but when I was watching it live,
yeah,
when it ended, I thought it was just the usual 3 hours. I didn't know it went over 4 hours.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
My sense of time is so bad.
It's all right, Josh. Hey, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
Seth Rollins versus Finn Bálor for the World Heavyweight Championship. This was a decent match. Better than GUNTHER versus Drew. But yeah, the story was there. Finn Bálor was mad at Seth Rollins because he injured him and forced him to relinquish his Universal title, which Finn Balor was the first person to win that Universal title. He had to relinquish it on the Raw after, because Seth Rollins injured him with a buckle bomb. So then Seth Rollins came out to the ring wearing that same vest, that Tron vest that he wore at SummerSlam 2016 when he injured Finn Balor and forced him to relinquish the Universal title. But yeah, Finn Balor was justifiably angry at Seth Rollins. He attacked him from behind after Seth flashed his Tron vest at him and threw it at him. I mean, I would probably do the same thing. This guy that injured me by being reckless and forced me to relinquish my world championship that I just won, and then he comes here now tonight with wearing that same vest with which he injured me, and now he flashes it in front of me and throws it at me. So yeah, of course. But they didn't really tell that story during the match. Just at the beginning when Finn Balor attacked, well, they kind of did, but there was psychology. Finn Balor wanted to torture Seth Rollins and put him through. Okay, I lie. They did tell the story. So what am I about to say? So Finn Balor didn't come out with the Judgment Day. I'm sure, as Ben and Josh have pointed out, if they haven't, I don't know their points of view at this time because I haven't got the recording yet with their opinions. But yeah, that's good that he didn't come out with the Judgment Day. Finn Balor wanted to finish off Seth Rollins by himself and only by himself. So yeah, there was even that psychology where Finn Balor was working on Seth Rollins' left arm. He put submissions, holes on it, Fujiwara arm bars. He threw him into the ring post by his bad arm. He did all that shit, and then the match goes on. And then the Judgment Day comes. Not Finn Balor. Damian Priest comes to the ring with his Money in the Bank contract, and he's like, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing here? Get out!" And they were mentioning this Plan A. I'm not sure what it is. If they explained it on Raw, I might not have seen because I don't watch Raw. But yeah, and then Rhea Ripley and Dominic Mysterio came out and they tried to help him too, but they only ended up making things worse. Damian Priest threw his but yeah, I understand that Finn Balor is mad at the Judgment Day for interfering. I'm sure they addressed that on Raw. Hopefully they did. They clarified that. They cleared the air on that whole thing. And yeah, hopefully they have a third match. I don't know, because there's no way they finish that feud like that. Finn Balor getting stomped on top of a briefcase. But yeah, this was a decent match. I'll give wrestling 7.5 and Logic 7. Yeah, this was alright. Back to you guys.
All right, next match for the WWE Women's Championship. Well, I don't know about the WWE Women's Championship. It's not the Women's World Championship. Let's just say
it's the same thing. It represents the same thing. It doesn't matter.
No, it does not. No, it does not. Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair versus Asuka. Triple threat match for the women's championship. I thought this was the best thing on the whole show. These three women, they had a good match. Josh disagrees with me on that, but I think they could have put on a way better match than I expected. I thought, like, they started off a little bit like they were right here, and then by the end of the match, they were about right up here, pretty much. Like they moved up like that, and then they had the whole injury thing with Bianca, where Bianca, her leg was all of a sudden messed up and stuff like that. So I was trying to figure out what the heck was going on in there. So anyway, this match went relatively pretty good time. They had a lot of time for this match, and then all of a sudden, out of thin air, as Charlotte had the figure 8 on Asuka, apparently, as she was having the figure 8 on Bianca, Bianca then pinned Asuka to win the women's championship. And then Io Sky comes out with Bayley. Bayley beats the shit out of Charlotte and Asuka. Io Sky cashes in. Io Sky cashes in on Bianca Belair, who is technically the champion. The match went 15 seconds, and Io Sky is your new women's champion. Now, Cabo said that he didn't want the Money in the Bank contract to be cashed in early. He didn't want the Money in the Bank contract to be cashed in at SummerSlam, as well as Josh, as he has said in the past. I do feel like a lot of people, there in SummerSlam, they didn't care about the Triple Threat Women's match anyway. Oh, well, okay. But, I mean, listen. I mean, the match, they tried, okay? At least it was a good match. At least it wasn't like the first, at least it wasn't like the first match on the show. I wouldn't have minded if it was the first match on the show. I mean, it would have gave that element of surprise that, like anything can happen here at SummerSlam, and stuff like that. But I do agree with I do agree Io Sky should be women's champion. I'm not saying she should not be women's champion. I'm saying she cashed in relatively a little bit too early, because it's been 3 whole weeks. Like, it was 3 weeks and plus change that she cashed in on Bianca Belair to win the championship. She cashed in a little bit too early, in my honest opinion. I don't know why women's Money in the Bank winners, they cash in a little bit too early. They jumped the gun relatively quick. I don't know why. I hope this trend changes, but as far as I'm concerned, I mean, Io Sky is WWE Women's Champion. I mean, I don't mind it, but again, she's gonna have to deal with damage control now, because apparently I'm hearing rumors that Bayley is gonna turn heel very soon, and then with this logic, if Io Sky, but the thing is, Bayley and Shotzi are feuding. Io Sky is technically feuding with Shotzi, so I don't know if Shotzi Blackheart necessarily, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve a title shot. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying within the confines of the feud, I mean, now does this become a feud where Shotzi fights for the women's championship? I mean, I wouldn't mind that at all. But again, there's going to be a whole lot of other people that would want a women's championship match. So that's why I'm saying I don't mind it, all too much. But anyway, Io Sky, your new WWE Women's Champion, Women's World Champion, or whatever the case may be. Jesus fucking Christ. Don't get me started. We went on a whole 20-minute tirade about that shit. Don't get me started. I'll give a rating for this match before Josh gives his opinion. I'll give a rating for this match an 8. Logic, a 1. Really. Because Bianca pinning Asuka did not make sense. Okay, well, Josh gave a 0 rating for his logic as well. So, yeah, it didn't make sense, all right? Like, the logic for Bianca to pin Asuka did not make sense. Only for Bianca to lose. I see why they did it. That does not mean it should have happened. That doesn't mean it should have happened. So, wrestling, 8, logic, a 1 for the triple threat women's match between Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Charlotte Flair. And by the way, no more title shots for Charlotte Flair. Please, 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 no more. No more. I don't want to see Charlotte Flair fighting for the women's championship ever again. I don't. Please. Go ahead, Josh. Floor is yours. You got all day.
Yes, with the way I keep rambling, I do have all day. Yes. My point is that she was champion for over a year. She then lost to Asuka at Night of Champions in such a fucking pathetic way, in such a bad match. And then, what? Around 2 months later, she becomes the champion again.
Good point, Josh. Hey, good point. I don't know why that happened. Kaba was pissed off about it. I was pissed off about it. Josh was pissed off about it. I'm sure many people did not want Bianca Belair to win again. Literally because she just lost. Like, I see your point. I see your reasoning now. I get it. Absolutely get it.
Asuka yet again was wasted and treated like garbage just for the sake of Bianca and Charlotte being viewed as more important as she is. Yet again, she gets wasted again.
Yeah, it's sad.
Again.
It's pathetic.
For years, Asuka has been wasted again and again and again. Why did they even book Asuka to beat Bianca at Night of Champions if this is what was being led to? Why?
Good point.
What's the point? If they wanted to have a shock cash-in from Io Sky,
yeah,
then why do it like this? It would have been much better if Bianca was the champion, still going all the way into SummerSlam. Have her retain, whatever. Have her go on another 2 months reign. And then have Io Sky afterwards cash in. That would have made a lot more sense. But no, they had her have an injury angle.
Yeah.
Just to then come back and win the match via a fucking roll up of all things, as she was in the middle of a submission.
Yes.
The logic of that was so stupid. Just to then, after winning, lose like, I don't know, 30 seconds later to Io Sky via the cash-in. A pointless ending to her reign at Night of Champions.
Yeah.
Just to then win a pointless triple threat now, making Asuka... Making Asuka's reign completely
unimportant.
Pointless.
Yeah, and unimportant.
And you know what? It makes Io's reign now pointless as well because of the way she became champion.
Good point. Hey, good point. You have a good point. I don't mean to cut you off. But
final point before you make yours.
All right.
If Bianca Belair now comes on Raw or SmackDown this week,
all right,
and she doesn't sell her leg, or the story isn't about her leg being injured,
it's about her.
Entire thing is going to be even more pointless than it already was. Because why even have her have the injury spot just for her now to not carry on selling that?
Yeah.
So I am hoping that this is a thing that carries on.
Yeah. I hope she fucking turns... Hey, I'll be honest with you, Josh. I hope she turns fucking heel. I hope she turns heel. Maybe not after this show. Down the line around Survivor Series, she turns heel. I'm sick of this Bianca Belair nonsense. Why is Bianca Belair the golden goose of this entire women's division? I don't know. Asuka has been treated like fucking shit for the last 9 months. And now all of a sudden, Bianca Belair had to win the championship. Bianca Belair had to win the championship on this fucking show when I've been asking for almost 5 damn months for her to turn heel. 5 months. And now all of a sudden, just because you know, the fans wanted Bianca Belair to lose against Asuka, right, at Night of Champions. That's why that happened. That's why that happened. These people cannot make up their minds. They can't make up their minds about Asuka, Bianca Belair, Charlotte. They can't make up their minds. Go ahead, Josh. You were going to say something? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, technically, it was me cutting you off there. Look, Asuka should have beaten Bianca at WrestleMania 39. She should have got the win fair and square, cleanly on that night. But she didn't. Asuka should have won this triple threat. Asuka should still be the champion now. She should still be the champion for the next several months. Io Sky shouldn't have cashed in until at least Survivor Series at the earliest on Asuka. That is how this should have gone. They should have treated Asuka with respect and, credibility. But no. And another point is that they have been mistreating Asuka for the past few months. No, they have been mistreating Asuka since WrestleMania 34 in 2018, being 5.5 years ago, when she lost to Charlotte to begin with. And yet all these years, all this time later, she is still losing to fucking Charlotte Flair in such a despicable way. Asuka is... Look, to me, she should never be champion ever again, because clearly they don't want her to be champion. Clearly they don't have any care for her being a champion. Clearly they don't. So never put her in a championship position ever again. They're
all right.
Point.
Fair man. All right. Yeah, Josh, you went on a whole rant right there. My goodness. Hey, listen, that's why you're on the show. All right.
Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair versus Asuka for the women's title. It's not the undisputed women's title as we thought it would be. But yeah, it's just the women's championship. Not SmackDown, not Raw, just the women's championship. This was a decent match. It had its flaws, but yeah, I still somewhat enjoyed it. One of the nitpicks I have is that Charlotte was kind of sloppy in some parts of the match. She did a really sloppy looking natural selection on both Bianca and Asuka, there are some other things like, what am I thinking now? She threw some very weak chops, and yeah, but other than that, one of the things I did actually like was that who's it? Asuka and Bianca were fighting each other, and then that gave Charlotte time to climb up the turnbuckle and then do a dive on both of them, and they didn't just wait there. They were still fighting while she was, and then when she was up there ready to do the moonsault or whatever, they were there ready to catch her, and it didn't look like they were waiting for her like most people do in wrestling. Whenever somebody does a dive, they just stand there and all wait for the guy or girl or person to jump off and do the moonsault or whatever on them, but they didn't do that here, which was good. But yeah, other than that, Bianca Belair won, by the way. She pinned Asuka. And the finish, let me give my 2 cents. I'm sure Ben and Josh have talked about it already. But, man, if Ben hasn't nominated Jessica Carr already, I will. Does she not have peripheral vision to see Asuka literally spit the blue mist in Charlotte's face right in front of the referee, who was looking at Bianca Belair selling the figure 4? But still, does she not have peripheral vision? Could she not see in the corner of her eye Asuka spitting something in Charlotte's face? Or could they not have investigated at least? Like, come on. Whatever. Bianca Belair won, and in the way that we've discussed that I don't like, she gets an obstacle thrown at her, and she has insurmountable odds against her, and she just busts through them as always, every single time, and wins, regardless of what happens to her. I hate that booking. Please stop doing that with Bianca Belair. It's really annoying. Just have a win in a normal way. Like, come on, man. But whatever. At least Io Sky came down to the ring with her Money in the Bank briefcase. She cashed in with Bayley. They smacked. Bayley smacked Charlotte with the briefcase, and then she did a thing, and then she pinned Bianca, and now she is the women's champion. Initially, I thought it was a bit too early for her to cash in, but it's SummerSlam, so I guess it's fine that she cashed. I would have preferred that she cash in on Survivor Series, but I'm still happy that she's the women's champion. I hope she has a long, meaningful reign, and back to you, Ben and Josh.
Main event. We got to move on now. Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the Undisputed Universal Championship Tribal Combat. Oh boy. The less I talk about this match, the better, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, this match went 37 goddamn minutes. I waited 4.5 hours for Jimmy Uso to turn heel on Jey. Then Roman Reigns still won. That's all you need to know. You all know what happened. I'm not going to explain what happened. But ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of everyone here, 0 rating for this goddamn main event. This sucked. Fuck off my television. I don't want to see Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso at Payback or whatever the fuck. Get this off television. I hate this Bloodline storyline. This Bloodline storyline died back in February, and it has died now. It is literally now rest in peace. Seriously, this Bloodline storyline sucks. Get this out. Get this off TV. I don't care about this. And people are saying this is like the best decision. Like, this is the best decision because Jimmy Uso believes he's jealous. He's jealous of Jey Uso. Like, why would he be jealous of Jey Uso? He's his own brother. He doesn't want to be tribal chief, does Jimmy Uso? Do you think Jimmy Uso wants to be fucking tribal chief? Are you fucking kidding me? You serious? These people are fucking mentally. Not to be crude or anything, but why would Jimmy Uso be jealous of his own brother? And why did he turn heel on him? And apparently Jimmy Uso's back in the Bloodline now. No, fuck off. Get this off TV. No rating at all. Josh, I know you feel the same way about this match, so I might as well let you have the floor.
I will mention one thing about the actual match. Just one thing. One very, very important aspect about this match. This was claimed to be a tribal combat match, which they clarified in their own way as meaning nobody should get involved under any circumstances because this is just between Jey Uso and Roman Reigns and nobody else. Nobody is supposed to get involved. No, nobody. Not a
Bloodline BS.
Not a single person should have got involved, because that is what this match was supposed to be, based on what they basically told us themselves on what this match was supposed to be. So, halfway into it, guess what happened? Solo Sikoa got involved and ruined the entire point and concept of what this match was supposed to be.
Thank you, Josh. You read my mind today. You read my mind today. Same thing I said. Same thing I exactly said in my mind. Go ahead.
There was a contract signing on SmackDown a few weeks ago. Jey decided to not go through with the contract signing for a normal, regular match, because he knew the point of him combating Roman Reigns would have been pointless for if it was just a regular, normal match that anybody could have got involved in, because he knows the way that it is. He knows how Roman operates as the champion and as his character, really. He's been there. He's helped him. He's helped him interfere every single match, mostly every single match that I can think of. So he knows this has to be a match just between him and Roman, nobody else. So what he did was, according to the storyline, apparently he had a conversation with the elders of the family, and they determined that this should be a tribal combat match, which is a part of their family tradition or the culture that they are born into and the culture that they live. They they abide by these rules and these circumstances of how they live life. So if the dad or the leader of a group is being challenged and his state of authority is being challenged, then the tribal combat is used to determine if the one who is challenging the leader is ready to become the new leader by defeating the leader in tribal combat one-on-one. So Jey decided to go through this, and the elders of the family agreed for him to go this way with Roman. Roman then agreed himself to go through this way. So everybody agreed to go through this way for the match. Roman would not only defend the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Champion of the World, or whatever the fucking name is now these days, but he would also defend the leadership of being called the tribal chief. And then all of that was put into the bin the moment Solo Sikoa interfered when they went to the portion area of where the crowd is, which to me they never should have left the ring to begin with, but that is neither here or there as far as I'm concerned now. Jay's whole point was to dethrone Roman because he's had enough of his reign of terror, which is ironically what Triple H's reign was called in 2003, and is what I still refer to him now as the lead booker of the company, reign of terror. And Ben is now about to interrupt by saying,
do not mention Triple H's reign of terror. One of the worst goddamn runs in the history of Western civilization. Don't you mention that no more.
That was so bad. I turned off every goddamn match except 3 matches.
You know who I feel most sorry for during that reign? Booker T at WrestleMania 19. That was horrendous. Guys like you don't really deserve to be in the position that I'm at, or whatever the line was used, right, to build up that feud, right. Triple H was basically referring to him as, racism. Basically, is what was the feud was about, as far as I'm aware.
More like a derogatory term, I suppose, Josh. Let's just put it like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So it would be like if I was to tell you, Ben, guys like you shouldn't be hosting this review.
That would be bad.
Yeah, exactly. That is what Triple H did to Booker T. Guys like you don't deserve to be World Heavyweight Champion. Guys like me, however, can be the World Heavyweight Champion. You know, that was horrendous. They never should have done that.
Yeah, at least Roman told Jey Uso, like, hey, you don't deserve to be World Champion. I'm the head of the table and stuff like that. At least he told him up front. You know, he doesn't believe, like,
Yeah, and also Roman agreed to accept the terms of the match. He agreed. They both agreed. The elders agreed to it because it was their choice. By the way, during the entire process of this bloodline storyline for the past 3 years, why haven't we seen, since Night of Champions 2020, the elders of this group? Why hasn't Rikishi, made an appearance here and there? Why hasn't Afa and Sika made an appearance? Why hasn't, anybody else? Like, they keep mentioning them, yet they don't show them. They don't have them be a part of the actual storyline. It just seems like they're just pointless because they don't actually use them properly to build up this bloodline story that they've been telling for the past 3 years. Look, I'll just end my entire rambling, which I've been doing now throughout this entire
No, you're not rambling.
review.
You're not rambling. You're not rambling.
I'll just close out by saying Roman Reigns should have lost the championship at fucking WrestleMania 38 a year and a half ago.
So
he's been champion for not only way too long, but at the point that he doesn't even defend it for weeks, if not months on end. This reign has been dead to me since over a year and a half ago. At least that, even 2 years ago, even. Actually, if I'm being honest, this reign was dead to me the exact second it started, because Roman never turned heel. He was already a heel when he made his return, but I'm not getting into that right now. I'm going to move on from that. Otherwise, I'll be here all fucking day. Right. I don't care about Roman Reigns. Jey Uso never should have even been in this position to get a championship shot. I don't believe in Jey Uso. He is a tag team wrestler. That's it. I don't believe in him as a singles wrestler. I don't care what anybody says. Jey Uso to me is a tag team wrestler with his brother. That's it. If he's not wrestling as a tag team with his brother, I don't want him to ever wrestle in the ring ever. He is a twin. They are united in that sense, and that's how it should be. Him even being in the main event against Roman Reigns at this year's SummerSlam was so stupid, even though I understood why, because of the story, but whatever. I don't care about the championship that Roman's holding. The WWE The WWE Championship is dead and buried as far as I'm concerned. The company is dead and buried as far as I'm concerned. Nothing matters in this company. Nothing. They make a joke about everything. They have to disappoint every time. They don't care. Nothing matters. Roman is going to remain champion all the way until WrestleMania next year, if not even longer. Nothing matters. They don't care. And I guarantee you, Roman will not defend until fucking probably Royal Rumble at the end. I guarantee you, Roman will not defend until the Royal Rumble at the earliest. I guarantee, except maybe the next Saudi show in October or November, maybe, if we're lucky. But fucking pointless.
The main event, Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns, tribal combat for the Undisputed Universal title. This was okay. This was a decent match. Kind of slow, but the story was there at least. Yeah, I haven't got much to say, really. Except Jimmy Uso turned heel again, and I don't know. Ben seemed pretty mad about it initially. He was probably furious when he saw that, but I'm not mad. I'm not happy. I'm just whatever, man. It is what it is. But yeah, I'll give this match wrestling 6 and logic of 5. That's the best I can give. But yeah, that was pretty much SummerSlam. I would give for this show wrestling 6.5 and logic 6. There are a lot of matches that I skipped, and the ones that I did watch weren't all that great. But yeah, next I think is All In London, AEW, and All Out the following week. And yeah, that's gonna be interesting to review. So yeah, on behalf of the main host of Live Soaping Radio, the co-producer of Live Soaping Radio, Certified Bangers, the former, well, he was a guest host on this episode. I don't know if he's coming back. He's probably not gonna come back at least till Survivor Series, and I don't even know if he's gonna watch that. But yeah, the special one-time guest host and of this podcast, Road Break, and my good friend Joshua James Jenkins, and the main host of the Mysteries of Life, a recurring guest host of Live Soaping Radio, Certified Bangers, and of course the assistant host of Live Soaping Radio, Rope Break, and also my good friend Ben Charles. This is Kgabinator. Signing out.
Josh, what can I say that I haven't already said? This match is getting a 0 rating. We didn't like this main event. Just sucked. Jimmy Uso's swerve sucked. Solo Sikoa being involved in a match that did not have anything to do with him sucked. And this show went almost 4.5 hours, which sucked. And yeah, that's the best way we can put it, ladies and gentlemen. That's how we think about SummerSlam 2023. This is the end of the review. And I'll give a rating for this show. Josh will not give a rating, but I will give mine. I will give this show 5.5. 5.5. Missable SummerSlam, unimportant SummerSlam, way too long SummerSlam. Complete, utter rubbish rubbish on some of the matches. There was some good in-ring action on this show, but other than that, thumbs down. Oh, and go ahead.
Sorry.
Josh was going to say something. Go ahead.
They had a pointless battle royal when they could have had Trish versus Becky instead, which would have been a lot more purposeful to be had on this pay-per-view. Or they could have had Santos Escobar versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship on this pay-per-view. Instead, look, I respect the point of having limited matches, only the important matches on the pay-per-view. I respect that. But then when you put on matches that are not important on the pay-per-view, instead of others that should have been on there, I do not respect that. Anyway, SummerSlam happened. I'm done. So, bye.
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, Josh Jenkins, everybody, not me. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of our review. SummerSlam 2023. I don't know if Cabo's going to be joining us for All Out or All In. All In is in London for AEW, so we will try to figure out if Cabo will join for All In. But until then, on behalf of Cabo, thank you to Josh Jenkins for taking the time out of his day to join me here. A very pleasant surprise, to say the least, and I'm sure he provided a lot of perspectives, very good perspectives, as a matter of fact. Well, yeah, Josh, that was very kind of you, to say the least. Anyway, we'll see you guys for All In London. We'll see you guys till then. On behalf of Josh Jenkins and Cabo, I'm Ben Charles. We'll see you guys next time for All In. So long, everybody.